There we go. Good morning. It is, what day is today? Today is May 19th, 2018. Welcome back to the live stream. My name is Jeff Fritz. Wow, it's been a busy 24 hours, hasn't it? Um, Let me start up some music here in the background. This is called Green. There it goes. And this is from our friend Carl Franklin, who writes, of course, music to code by. You can learn all about music to code by. Either ask the bot in the channel about the music, he'll give you a link to it. You can check out music to flow by. That's his app that's available that you can download. I've switched to the lower ear pods today because I want to make sure I'm wearing my bucket hat. It is raining cats and dogs here in Philadelphia. So I'm wearing my Reading Fighting Phillies hat. It's a bucket hat that I got at a game a couple years ago, but thought it was kind of appropriate for the crazy volume of rain that we're getting here in the Philadelphia area. Literally, it hasn't stopped raining in a week. Good morning, Cryptrix and Wintermute. Great to see you. Thanks so much for coming back and joining me again today. More code. More code must be written. Let's get into it. Gosh, I haven't even set the title properly for today's stream. And I haven't really thought about what we're going to do for today's stream. We're going back to May is for Max. So let's make sure we say that. And let's work on our GitHub scoreboard widget. That's not how you spell scoreboard. Let me spell scoreboard right. B-O-A-R. And because we got the music going, let's make sure we're on chill streams here. Da, da, da. There we go. Cloudy in the Netherlands, but all good. Forever jamming. Yeah. Hats off for doing a 9.5-hour teaching and teaching again today. Thank you, Open Window and Open Window's wife. You know what? Hey. You take a day off async a week. I was really thinking about it, but you know what? I had to do it. Crazy rain in Brazil today also. Good morning, Program with Dan. I was really thinking about it, but you know what? I thought it was appropriate to get back in and get working on some more code here. Just because I almost feel like, gosh, I feel like I need to be writing code. You know, there's something that's soothing and relaxes me when I'm writing code. You know, teaching yesterday, that was one thing, but to be writing code is a whole nother thing that I really enjoy, and that's why I like sharing that with you, dear viewers. Thanks to Fierce Kittens for the auto host. I appreciate that. And Hacking TV out there. That's very cool. Thank you. I've got a couple pull requests I want to merge here from our friends yesterday. With details on the live stream, I think is what we've got here. Yep. So let me head over to our code. There we go. Yep. And back over here. All right. You didn't recognize me with this hat? Yes, this is that's the Reading Phillies, right? So that's the Philadelphia Phillies minor league team that plays in Reading, Pennsylvania. Not Reading, England, Reading, Pennsylvania. It's a little bit west of me here. And we go out there every now and again to see the young players play as they're working their way through the minor league baseball system. So we've got a pull request here from Steve, who, of course, was our pair programmer yesterday at noon. Teaching all about extension methods. He did a little bit around around some guard methods that he had. And he had some pretty good samples here, and talk about guard clauses in his weekly Dev Tips podcast. Really good content from Steve yesterday. This is a simple merge of just a few bullet points here. I can easily accept that. There we go. Thanks for the links. And I really appreciated your help with the workshop. All right. I think that's the last of our pull requests over there. Thanks for the host dev chatter. And that first announcement off the alert box is always, it's always slow. It's always too fast. It closes before we get to see it. If I was in Reading, England, you'd be enjoying the sunshine just like I am. Ah, Smav, that sounds... I wish we were. Jovial Jack, thank you for the follow, and good morning, Steve. You were a little busy yesterday, weren't you? Especially when the trolls invaded. I'm sorry, Steve, that really worked you up into a sweat. And I know you like sweating when you're chanting about developers. No, it's not Kellogg's. It's actually... So let me see if I can get a little closer here. That's actually a train coming off of the Reading R. Spawn Hub TV. That's a Reading Phillies hat. So, any tips for good food in Philly? Given that I'm leaving in 10 minutes, you're leaving for Philly? I missed what you were saying. I'll actually be in Philly later today. What kind of budget do you have? Because there's a couple different ways that I can answer that. Yes. Oh, just yes. Okay. If we were to bring up here Yelp, about $50. Oh, so for $50. I mean, I always the cheesesteaks in Philadelphia, of course, are legendary. What does Yelp say? Let me make sure I'm not giving you something that's completely off the map here. Big spender. Nah, that's all right, James. $50 a plate. That's a half decent menu. These are all kind of crazy. Laurel is very expensive, and the French. And I'm assuming Wintermute, you're downtown. Where is it? It is Japanese. The Iron Chef Japanese, Morimoto, has a place downtown that is really good, but it's also really expensive. So there's a couple of nice Japanese spots. There I go with my left click on the mouse, my back click on the mouse. And there's a couple of nice steakhouses, but they're also going to be expensive. But for a couple bucks, if you're going after cheesesteaks, I am a huge fan of Tony Luke's. Tony Luke's cheesesteaks are amazing. The cheesesteaks that you'll find down on South Street, Gino's and Pat's, it's a tourist trap. Folks have to go there just because it's that place that you go. But I'm looking here for, I guess, barbecue is where you'd find steak. I used to live in Harrisburg back in 2014 and haven't been to PA since. All right, so no, I'm looking for the steakhouses, and this isn't what I'm looking for. Why isn't steak here, you know? No, not business lunch. Oh my gosh. John's roast pork is really good. I haven't been there in years. Shoot. No, not Park. Too expensive. Monk's is pretty good. D'Alessandro's, that's the one I'm thinking of. They are amazing for steaks. People really, really rave about D'Alessandro's. Don't do Fogo de Chao, too expensive. That's $50 a plate, and that's a fixed price, and it's a Brazilian steakhouse. This is making me hungry. Yeah, we're going to be coding and eating. Yeah, I would... honestly, if you're coming to Philly, you got to go get a cheesesteak. D'Alessandro's, Tony Luke's, I would go. Those are the two that I typically recommend. I haven't been to some of these new places. Dandelion, I've heard folks talk about also. But, I mean, that's a British gastropub. And Morimoto's the other one folks really rave about. So. Can I watch this video in YouTube? Asks Seven Lover. It'll be over there later today. Which reminds me, so I started editing down yesterday's video. Had to do some edits because somebody made a mistake at the end of the day and put his phone number out there. Who knew? Who knew? And yeah, we had to fix that. Yeah, you know what? I want to write some code. I want to go back to Stream Tools and write some code over here. It's been too long. Add protection against chat DDoS attacks, or at least mitigate them. After what we ran into yesterday, yeah, look at that. This is yeah, that's a big problem. It was a pain in the neck yesterday. I'm going to call it and pretend I'm that Indian Microsoft dude waiting to fix your computer. No, actually, it wasn't my phone number. It was somebody else's. So, this is something that we absolutely have to do, but that's not something. As I'm slowly replacing these other features, and I get that alert box replaced, this is going to be very important. Hey, where's the? I thought there was a labels thing over here to do. This is going to be an enhancement, and it's going to be a little bit further out, I think. But I want to continue working on our GitHub scoreboard. So the idea here is we wanted to have a little bit of a scoreboard that we could use here on stream. And actually, now that we've hit our architecture workshop goal up there, up at the top, I'm going to pull that off. And I'm going to put a number of followers over here on the side. And I want to use this area in the middle as a ticker. So I can have our current GitHub leaders going by there. Folks who have contributed to our community, to our projects. Getting some proper credit here on stream as the stream is playing. I think that's fair. I think that's proper. Because the concept of the follower goal and workshop, now that I'm at 2,100 followers, I'm going to sunset that because I'm going to start running workshops every month. Next month, I've already got planned, and we're working on the details now. I've got an Azure workshop planned next month. Our friends from the developer advocate team are going to be joining that and leading some of that effort. But we will be doing workshops once a month, and it's going to be first Friday, second Friday of the month, depending on schedule. But you will see Free Fritz Friday, First Friday with Fritz. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to call it here, but we're going to bring in different groups. And I got an email yesterday from our friends at Xamarin University. They want to help with a workshop as well. So we're going to do a workshop with Xamarin University. I've even got the folks who work on VSTS, Visual Studio Team Services. They'd like to do a workshop. We're going to talk about a workshop with them at some point. But the next one up, we're lock and loading on, is going to be Azure and serverless. Architecture, I think we'll end up doing in July. And I think Xamarin in August. That's what my schedule currently looks like. Oh, do we have any of our friends from Germany here in the chat room? Any Germans in the chat room? Because what I need to do, and I forgot to put on here. Yeah. Oh, good. Then you may be happy to know I need to update my wiki over here because I've got a speaking engagement to add. I will not be at Microsoft Ready Inspire. I will be at Developer Week Germany in Nuremberg, June 25th. Let me get that link. Yes. Developer Week DE. I will be keynoting. Still watching the VOD from yesterday. Nice. No, I'm not buying tickets. I can speak lorem ipsum. I know just enough German to avoid a international incident. There we go. All right. So I am thrilled. This will be my first speaking event in Germany. Added Developer Week Germany. There we go. Yep. So there you go. Right? Am I putting the English translation in there correctly? It's in Nuremberg, right? Where is it? I'm in the Sydney room. Nice. Yep, and this is the name of my keynote. Software Development in 2018, the new team sport. Don't need French. No. Okay, yes, code of conduct. Love seeing that. Contact. There's the team. Right? All the contacts in Munich. How's that work? All right. So I will be there at Developer Week in Germany. And since that's on the 25th, right? The 25th is a Monday. Right? Right? Give me a calendar. Calendar 2018. Yeah. Show me the calendar. There we go. Right, so the 25th is a Monday. You know what that means? I normally broadcast on Tuesday, so I might, depending on how long I'm in Germany, I might be doing my live stream from Germany, from Nuremberg. Welcome, Pimp and Juice. There's another interesting handle. All right. I like Jovial Jack a little bit better so far. 6 hours south of Hamburg, unfortunately. Maybe next time I'll join. All right. In German? No, not in German. No, I wouldn't subject you to my broken, terrible German. All right. So I'd like to work on our GitHub scoreboard here. All right, so let's open a terminal. Cool. Which folder am I in? That's not bad. So I'm already working in the feature scoreboard folder here. I don't think... Do I have... I didn't have Visual Studio Code open. Let's get that open. So, of course, I'm using Visual Studio Code so that I can be working here on the Mac in .NET code. And let's focus on actually getting something accomplished today. I want to contribute. Fantastic. What do you want to contribute to what? What would you like to contribute, Spawn Hub? Let me know. I'm always looking for help. I'm helpless. What can I tell you? Oh my gosh, you can see right through my hat. I've made the chroma key a little bit too aggressive. .NET Kellogg. What's .NET Kellogg? I think I've made the chroma key filter a little bit too... a little bit too solid, too transparent. The scoreboard, fantastic! I'd be happy to have you help out here. Yeah. Some projects have trouble, blah, blah, blah. So let's take a look. Let's see where we can have you help here, Spawn Hub. So a couple things that we're trying to do here, and the first one that we're really having a problem with here is caching in order to limit GitHub API requests. So, oh, auf Wiedersehen, Wintermute. Take care, absolutely. Good morning, Orgbrat. Good to see you. So, we had this problem the other day when we started working on this, where the GitHub API requests went through too quickly. And I actually used up all of my requests while I was trying to debug, and that's kind of a problem. That's going to be a problem here. I don't think I need to refresh quite as quickly as I was debugging. So it would be nice to be able to cache that, and also in test mode to not hit the endpoint as frequently as I was. Joe Bunn asks, I know you have daughters. I have a 12-year-old. I would like to introduce her to programming. Any suggestions? I showed my daughters. So every year there's the in December, right? There's the month of code. Right? Code, and it was Minecraft. Yeah, the hour of code. And I showed my kids, and they were really into Minecraft at the time. I showed them this Minecraft hour of code, and it was a series of puzzles that you could write, I believe, with Scratch. Yep, there's a little video to get you started. Choose who you want to be. Of course, they always chose Alex. I want to be Steve. And, right, you get this Scratch format here, right, where you've got the puzzle pieces for the various things. Add a second move forward block to reach the sheep. And then you can click run. And yeah, you finished this. So this is a nice little series of puzzles that they can go through to learn the basics of coding with Scratch. You can start at code.org. And where is it? The jump off here. There's all kinds of things in here. If I go, is it projects? Is where the jump off is to that Minecraft bit. I mean, I did a search for it, and it'll jump right into it. So they can learn, and they could do projects in the little. It's not true Minecraft, right? It's this kind of faux Minecraft. Is it? Maybe it's under Teach. Is where they are. Course catalog. Here we go. And there's Minecraft. Thank you, MTC743, for the follow. Appreciate that. Like Make Code is a little bit further, right? So this is a really good tutorial to get you started, and all kinds of stuff to get you in the right direction here. I love that the Microsoft Store is going to be hosting Hour of Code camps. That's really cool. Make Code is another teaching effort that Microsoft is doing to encourage kids to learn how to write code. And there's all kinds of things they can do here that are a little bit more advanced. Once you get through some of those basics with the little Minecraft stuff, you can actually learn how to build some IoT things here on stream, right? And then, right, you can learn how to make mods in Minecraft here. That's pretty cool. Now, a personal favorite of mine, is JoulBots. And full disclosure, I do have a business relationship with JoulBots. I was an initial supporter of their Kickstarter. These folks are doing some tremendous things to build what they call the friendship bracelet of the future. And it's these friendship bracelets that have an IoT device in it. It's an Arduino. You can plug it into your PC and you can write some C++ code, send it over to the JoulBot. There it is, plugged in. You can see it on the Mac. Program the JoulBot, and the JoulBot actually has Bluetooth in it. So it'll do a proximity sensor with some of their friends, and they can have it light up. You can see the girls here in the video. When they're near each other, it'll change different colors, and there's a button in it. They can send messages to each other, secret messages, by pressing the button and have it light up, do different things. But they can write programs, and they can write games for, there you go, in C++ for their JoulBot. And I've long had the idea of, I wanted to do a JoulBot live coding stream. And I think we're almost there. I want to reach out to the CEO. She's a good friend of mine, Sarah Chips from JoulBots, and do a JoulBot stream here one Saturday morning so we can get some kids involved and they can learn how to program a little C++ with us. Which is kind of weird, right? Kids learning C++, that's like learning how to drive in a Ferrari. But it works. So make code, the hour of code at code.org, and JoulBots. Those would be the three things that I would encourage your kids to check out to get started, particularly girls. The more that they can program something and see something physical change, right? And that's what I like about the JoulBots. It's easy for them to program and see, oh yeah, I told it to light up in this order, and my code made that happen. So very cool. What I'd love to see happen, and I just don't know enough to be able to write this. I would love to see JoulBots with Scratch in Visual Studio Code. Be able to use Scratch inside of Visual Studio Code to program a JoulBot. I think that would be amazing to teach kids how to write code. So there you go. Great. All right. Looked at JoulBots a while ago. Yeah, I think it's a very cool project. I think it's amazing. So, yesterday, to get back and talk about this caching issue we ran into. Yesterday, Scott was telling us at the end of the day that he was starting to use a package called Lazy Cache, I think it was. So let's go out to NuGet.org and let's look up Lazy Cache. A make code extension to Visual Studio would be neat. I think you're right. Where was I here? So, Lazy Cache. I think that was the name of it. There we go. Lazy Cache from Alistair Tree. This was the version that Scott had. It's a simple, thread-safe, in-memory caching library. Makes it easy to add high-performance caching to your .NET app. That sounds amazing, and they need a ton more downloads than this. This sounds like it does exactly what I need to do to get past this next issue of caching. Now, Spawn Hub, you were asking to help out. Some of the other things, I wanted to have this scrolling like a ticker. So if you want to grab that feature, right, I want to have this scrolling like a ticker and have leaderboard cards in here, and also some configuration options. So, comment on the issue. Let us know what feature you want to grab or how you want to improve this. And I'll avoid that and let you go to town on it. But I'm gonna work on this little caching bit. Let's see what we can do here. Much better. All right. Let's see if he's got some sample code here. See the quick start wiki. All right. All right. Let's go to. There was a quick start link up there. We'll try that. And for folks that are writing libraries, this to me is a great way to get people started in the right direction, is to write a little wiki page that says, here in, a few lines of code is how to start using my project, how to use this package. This is tremendously helpful to make me as successful as quickly as possible with your project, and that makes me happy, right? So I just have to say services add lazy cache after I add the project, and it was lazy cache ASP.NET Core. So you know what? I'm just going to grab that command. I love seeing a command that I can just copy and paste in here. Right, I can do actually a window tab. Let's do that. I'm going to open up our terminal. Which folder does it have me in? I need to go down into the Stream Tools project. And now I'll paste in that command. No, wait a sec. I can't just paste in the command. I just want to say add package. I don't need to specify my project name because I'm in the project. Let's see if we can bump that up a little bit. See, now my chroma key lighting on this side is just a little fuzzy. Found 3 versions. Package is incompatible with all frameworks in project. Well, that's not good. That's not good. Let's see, what do we got here? I thought we were compatible. Dependencies. .NET Standard 2.0. Oh, wait a sec. It was the Lazy Cache ASP.NET Core. Lazy Cache ASP.NET Core. Right, there it is. .NET Standard 2.0. That should install. That should install. Let's kind of force the issue here. If it's not going to just do that for me, I can actually go right into the project file. There it is. And I'll add it here by directly adding package reference include equals. Now I should get some type ahead help here, right? All right, and it should also look up my version for me. No, it didn't look up the version. The version I want is 2.0.0-beta 03. The command line only looks for stable versions. Well, that'll explain it. Shouldn't I be able to say... Oh, I have to specify the version directly. Let's try that. All right. And then I can avoid typing all this nonsense. Because I'd really prefer to just do it. Right? Just add the package. There we go. Installing. Much better. And there it is. Lazy Cache ASP.NET Core. Yep, go ahead, restore those other packages, which is, right. Should find that and load it quickly. Good. All right. What did it do over here? All right. So now I have Lazy Cache. Now it was saying to go into my startup services and to add the caching. Let's go back to that page. Just services add lazy cache. That seems easy. Excuse me. So there it's adding my GitHub client. I'll just add the cache there. And then, right, all I have to do is receive an IApp cache. And then I can say cache, get, or add. All right. I think we can make that happen. Let's say, copy paste. So we were doing that in our GitHub controllers where we're doing the work. Here it is with the GitHub repository. And I started doing an iMemory cache here. And yeah, let's, where's it referencing that? There it was. I started doing iMemory cache, and I don't think I ever, right, I don't think I ever finished adding it over here, right? Yeah, I started using that. I don't want to, let's back that out. And go back to the GitHub controller, and let's, what was it? App cache. And I'll control space. I'm sorry. Command dot to get the using. And this needs to now be app cache. All right, so now I'm using lazy cache. All right. Wrong one. It was get or add. There's the name of it. All right. So now it should get that out of cache for me. Out of lazy cache. And make it available on screen. I'm going to use my terminal here. Let me open an additional one that I can run it in. I thought I clicked plus. There it is. And let's go down into Stream Tools. And I'm going to .NET Watch Run. So this will be running in the background. And it will restart whenever I need it to. Here we go. 73 folks joining us today. Thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in. I really appreciate that. Let's see here. There we go. Now we're running and listening on localhost 5000. All right. Open a new tab. Localhost 5000. And it'll route me over to the HTTPS version. There we go. And then here's my contributors page. All right. So now we wanted to work on making this a little bit more, what's the word I'm looking for? We're going to make this scrolling, and I'm getting it lined up a little bit better here. But first thing we should do, let me confirm that we are properly caching that data. Oh shoot, and this is running in production mode. Let's put us back into development mode. So ASP.NET Core has this concept of environments, so I'm going to set my environment name using the ASP.NET Core _environment variable, and I'm going to specify development. And now when I .NET Watch Run, it'll light up all of my development tools, and it'll give me a little extra logging information because I'm in development mode. So, yeah, I thought I'd throw some of you off with a little bit different hat today, not my regular baseball caps. There we go. So I said, right, there's the environment name I said was development, and down here you can see we're hosting in the development environment. So what I'd like to do is, I believe, are we receiving? I'm not receiving a logger here. Okay. I'd like to receive a logger to kick things off. So let's create a logger here. And I'm gonna, no, not contributor. Controller. I'll receive a logger here, and let's, once again, get my using statement. Need to put a comma at the end of that. This dot logger equals logger. And we're going to need to create that. So I will generate, let's make it a read-only property. Now I have a logger. And what I will do here is say logger dots log information fetching data from GitHub. That way I can see it actually triggered the fetch. Cache and logger, absolutely. All right. So because I changed a C# file, my .NET Watch is up and running here. All right, what should the lurk command do, async awake? Let me know. That feels like a feature we could add here. So there, the website is running again. Let's go back to Firefox. I'll refresh. And because I restarted the application, it should actually fetch it from GitHub. And I'm not seeing that log message. So that now the question is, right, what did it do? What did it do? Not my configuration page. Not verify repository. Am I going to contributors? Set a breakpoint and run in debug mode. Don't necessarily want to do that. I should be seeing all of the requests come through here, which tells me my logging configuration isn't set quite right up top here. Default warning. Let's change that. I'm going to default to information so that I can just force that. Yep. Yep. All right. That was me. I didn't look there first. There we go. Now I'm getting my information. All right. If we refresh, we should see that log information go in. There it was. Fetching data from GitHub. And if we refresh again, and again, and again, and again, it does not refetch. I'm not seeing that information. Fantastic. I could probably make that a log warning that it's doing that. Let that go. All right. So now I'm logging and I'm receiving that data, and I'm caching it even better. Let's push that back up to GitHub. Let's clear this. Let's see here. GitHub controller, the CS proj, configure services and app settings. That's fine. Let's commit all of those things. Lurk is not exactly necessary. It's kind of nice to have the bot confirm that you're gone AFK or come back to the stream. Dev chatter has something like lurk, and the bot responds, viewers just lurking, but still thinks you're awesome. That way people don't worry that SB will talk to them while they're gone and think they're being rude, not answering. By an unlurk with a welcome back. Meh. Alright. Yeah, not necessary. Alright. So, let's close this one. I don't need this. So this is on issue 110. I will mark it as such. Added caching with lazy cache. That's not how you spell lazy cache. Alright. Are ASP.NET Core not hot loading app settings as default? I don't think it is. I thought they were at one point, but it sure doesn't look like it. You have seen lurk commands in other chats. Meh. I've had a number of weird issues with hot reload. Yeah. I'm not overly concerned about it. I thought there was an easy way to configure the hot reload. I will mark that. Let's look at ASP.NET Core configuration reload. I thought there was a way to set it when everything was very explicit in your startup configuration. JSON configuration. XML configuration, blah, 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 blah. Configuration by environment. Reload on change. That's what we're looking for. Right, so it's I options snapshot can reload configuration data when it changes. Phil talked about that yesterday. But how do we... Right, how do we enable that? Basic options, configure. No. I don't think this is what I wanted. Yeah. No. Let me go back to configuration. All right. So it's there's got to be another one here. Right, so how do we do that in a new ASP 2.0 world? ASP.NET Core 2.0. Right? It's not clear to me how that would be. Configuration, yeah, that would be if I was managing my own configuration builder, but in a world where I have create default builder. Behind the scenes, that's building my configuration and registering it for me. So I'm not sure there. It took a long time to figure out why C++ copy constructors return a reference to this. Copy assignment, not copy constructor. Now, that's appearing faster on the user interface here than it is inside my chat room that I'm actually monitoring over on my extra display. That's weird. I'm not going to tinker with the reload on change right now. Yeah. Get back to that later. Not something that is blocking me from completing this. Probably need to rewrite the default call to make hot reloading work. Let's show it. All the source code is available online, so if you go to ASP.NET, and then there's bunches of projects here. Now that create default is in it's in the meta package. And if we go under source, ASP.NET Core, I believe it's under here. There, I thought was create default builder. There it is. There's the create default builder, right? So when you call that create default builder, this is what it's actually calling. Configure app configuration. And it does have, there you go, Joe Bun, it does have reload on change set to true. And reload on change for the other JSON files, right? Your environment name is set to reload on true also. So it should have reloaded it for me, but it obviously didn't. All right. Let's get back to, I think I can check that off. It is more embedded because I dropped the header and footer. Configuration options for fonts, colors. Well, and there's this, the configuration options we do have right now, right, specifies the repository owner and the repository name. And when you save this, right, let's look at where it actually saves that inside of, hello, thank you, inside of our GitHub controller. There it is. It just writes it into the instance GitHub configuration object here. Right? That's only being managed here in memory. So it actually goes away. I thought there was... Don't I have collapse capabilities on these? I'm going to collapse this thing. No, I don't have... I thought you could collapse. Collapse folders. No, I thought there was code folding. Is that what they call it? Yeah, there we go. Well, that was a little bit much. Was this one? Wait, I don't get it. Right? Fold. Yeah. Command. I don't know what that thing is. What is that thing? That's not shift. That's shift. What is this thing? Is that this? No. That? Well, that was too much. All right. Well, I want to fold here. There we go. That's better. Get rid of some of this other stuff. People is switching from Visual Studio to VS Code. Nope, wrong answer, Fritzbot. No, I'm using Visual Studio Code here because I'm on a Mac. Right? And I want to show how you can use Visual Studio Code on a Mac. I prefer full Visual Studio, but a lot of folks like Visual Studio Code also. So I want to show you how you can use that. So here's what I'm thinking. Configuration right now writes back into this. It's an instance. It's going to forget this as soon as it copies it because it creates a new instance of the controller each time. Right? Right? GitHub configuration here. This isn't a static. Right? So that's not what I wanted. I wanted to go back. There we go. Control. Yeah. Great point, Joe Bun. I use both. You know, they both have great features that are good in both places. Hey there, Amber Code. Good to see you. I use VS Community in production. I hope MS doesn't find out. Don't worry about it. You're fine. You're cool. Why Twitch and not other platforms? Asks Amber Code. Twitch has the biggest audience. Twitch has the easy integration with Amazon Prime. So if you want to get rid of the advertisements and you have Amazon Prime, you can actually activate Twitch Prime for free. And you just have to connect your Twitch account to your Amazon Prime account, and it'll get rid of all the advertisements for you. And you'll get a free subscription that you can use for one channel. One subscription you can use for one channel here on Twitch. And if you use it on mine, you didn't spend anything extra to get on Twitch. I'll give, and I'll take that subscription, I'll match it, and we'll send that over as a donation to Girl Develop It. I'll match any subscription, actually. Send it over to Girl Develop It. And they'll help teach young girls, women, underrepresented minorities how to write code, just like we're doing here. Oh, thank you for the compliment there on the hat, Sinclair Nader. Yep, that's a Reading Phillies hat. So Twitch has easily been significantly more viewers that have come on. I was streaming to Mixer. Mixer had not even 10% of the viewers that I was seeing here on Twitch. So I decided to stick with Twitch. Mixer was also giving me a little bit of troubles as well. Do you use a lot of WordPress? My team and I just finished a plugin we've been working on for 6 months. I'd love to share. I do use WordPress for my own personal blog. I manage a website for my local stables that my daughters ride at. Sure, I'd be interested in checking it out. Drop me a line. Let me know what your plugin is, Pimp and Juice, and we'll take a look. Can you explain the configuration stuff that exists in the controller? Asks Programming with Dan. Absolutely. Let me answer the rest of the questions that we have here, Pimp and Dan, and I will. Now, let me focus on Dan here for a second. Dan, are you referring to? There we go. That's what I was asking about. Are you referring to this object and what it's doing there? Yeah, I know, Cryptrix. The bot, the Twitch bot, blocked it. It is. Pimpin's right. This is just the configuration that I'm using to get which GitHub repository to read, and we may extend that a little bit. This is just a where is it? It's just a POCO, right? A plain old C# class here that has a couple of properties that we can use to inspect and carry that information back and forth. Now, this remote here, action name used when generating the URL when client should send a validation request. The controller name used when generating the URL where client should send a validation request. I don't use remote attribute typically. Okay. Now, actually, Programming with Dan, you're not far off. So here's the cool thing, right? This plain old C# class that I have here, I can actually load from my app settings. So if I scroll down here, see it there? GitHub. I can load, right? If you used .NET Framework before, we had C#, we had, I don't want to say C#, we had classes that represent various sections of the document. You can do the same thing here. You can load these features directly into that C# class, so you have a strongly typed class to work with to read that data. It won't save the data back into this file, but it'll allow you to read it. PhillyR.net, yeah, there you go. Let me finish. We created a plugin called Word Patch. It allows you to tweak core, plugin, and theme files without losing the ability to auto update. Focus on Dan for now. Let me know when you want me to hit you up, and I'll show you it. Drop me an email, and we can take a look at that. I'll even look at it here on stream if you'd like, and we could take a look at that maybe on Tuesday. Actually, I have emails into our friends at the Q&A Maker team. I want to talk to them on Monday and see if we can get straightened out on our Q&A Maker on Tuesday. We'll see about that. All right. Think GitHub ticker.js. Now, that's exactly where I want to end up. Now, is that actually a thing? GitHub ticker. Oh, maybe it is. Is it? GitHub ticker. GitHub ticker. Da, 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 da. Do I have to put a .js on the end of this? Come on, is that a thing? News ticker is a jQuery. jQuery what? jQuery plugin. Here we go. Which allows you to create a scrolling news ticker. Custom easings, multiple tickers on one page. Scroll the content up or downwards. Now, who is it here? OBS actually has a feature where I can, a filter option where I can tell it to scroll content for me. So I don't need to actually do the scrolling, but I do want to make sure that my entire length of the HTML is on the page, right? That everything is horizontal, so that either I can tell it, tell my HTML to scroll it, or let OBS scroll it. That's a good point. That's a good feature point here, right? Optional scrolling. OBS could do the scrolling for me. All right. Let's see here. Programming with Dan says, I'm building a .NET Core app and I have some configuration in my app settings JSON. I'm just injecting the I configuration in the controller to get access to the data. You're right. That's an easy way to do it, Programming with Dan. Let me show you one thing here that I think kind of, in my mind, solidifies, in my mind, it makes it concrete how I solved this problem. If I go up here to Followers Controller, in Followers Controller, see this? I'm receiving an I options called type follower goal configuration. Follower goal configuration is just another POCO with some display attributes on it. Need a little bit of space in between some of these, so it's a little bit easier to read. Okay. And all of these features are present inside of my app settings JSON. There it is, follower goal. So what I do by receiving a follower goal configuration, I'm actually loading that into this class, and I'm able to receive it in my follower controller as an options object, right? And then I specify .value, right? So that it actually converts it back into that follower goal configuration object. And now I can work with it It is a much easier way to isolate those configuration settings as a POCO. Yes. Then I don't have those magic strings scattered throughout my application that say here's how to drill through my configuration. It just finds and references it. So you can take a look at this sample code. It's out there on my GitHub. You've seen where we are. C# Fritz, fritz.streamtools. You're welcome to lift as much code or as little code as you would like. The configure, where it actually configures and adds that configuration, is right. There you go. Services configure and then configuration get section, right? You're probably familiar with using that object, that command, configuration get section. And then I'm adding that into my my configuration, my dependency injection services, so I can find that later. Sinclair Nader asks, WordPress is interesting to say the least. My blog and website used to be WordPress, but I decided to migrate all my posts and make it the first means for me to use ASP.NET Core. Cool. It's gone from the 7 previews all the way up to 2.1 RC1. Nice. Nice. You've been following along. I've gotten much more amazing performance and easier to deal with configuration and extensions, just like the configuration POCOs allow. Orchard Core is interesting, and for WordPress, Peach Pie is interesting for .NET developers. Yes, Janescu, I need to do a Peach Pie session at some point here. Peach Pie is a great framework that you can add into your ASP.NET Core application to allow you to run PHP inside of .NET Core. Orchard Core is interesting oh yeah, we just read that. I'll send you an email. I would really appreciate that. It means a lot to me. Love .NET too. So what I'm doing right now is super entertaining. Oh, thank you, Pimpin' Juice. I'm glad you enjoy it. Well, just seems like an easier way. Actually, I've done this on a separate project. This is what you're talking about, configuration. Dun, dun, dun. Yep, there you go. That's exactly it. You got it, Dan. All right. No problem. I'm happy to answer your questions. All right, so there's that. I won't change that file. Don't worry about that. So I'm receiving this configuration, and like I said, it just kind of... it's not doing anything. It doesn't write it back to anywhere. And it also feels kind of clumsy, you know? I mean, this configuration page, it's not doing anything just yet. By comparison, when I look over here, if I go to the follower goal configuration, this doesn't actually save anything in here, right? Caption is, let's say, Xamarin Workshop. Google font name. Yep, I don't have any fonts. Let's just grab Arial. Goal. Sure, we'll start at 100. We'll make the current value. Let's make it 95. Thank you for the follow, Mr. Blade Brown. And I also missed Aces Jix. Is that how you pronounce that? Thank you for the follows. Look forward to seeing you in the chat room. Let's add some other colors here to our fill bar. Let's have it go from blue through to, some yellow over here somewhere. That'll be cool. All right. There, I'm done. Yes, that one. I did. I chose a color. There it goes. And now I can say, right, I've got these cool, choose a default color for maximum contrast. I'll choose, look. Oh, well, that's the empty. Let's choose the fill. There we go. I got the white, and that looks pretty good. Now, my configuration actually generates a whole bunch of arguments to pass in right here on the query string, and I can just use that to bring up the exact same thing. And I can click the preview button to force the preview, but it should just load automatically here for me. So that's pretty cool. But I think this is what I'd like to do so that I can pass my configuration either in, right, the my GitHub configuration either in my app settings, or generate a similar page like this with a URL that I can put at the bottom. And I think there's a couple different things that we want to do with our to allow additional configuration of this. Right? Do I want to show how many of each one of these do I want to show? Right now I think I'm showing the top 5. And then the next question is, do I want to show top all time? Do I want to show top month? Do I want to show top week? Which ones of those 3 do I want to be able to show? Yeah, I think there's a couple different features here for this configuration that we can add in. Rotate between the 3 on a slower timer. That's a great idea, Cryptrix. Yeah. Let's I'm going to pull the configuration item out of here. Let's create this as a separate issue. GitHub scoreboard configuration. It would be great to let's say emulate the configuration of followers goal with a similar passing of configuration in app settings or query string. Configuration options. We should consider. All right, so this was a query string configuration. Font colors. Cryptrix was saying rotate between all time, month, week. How many? Top X number of contributors. Should we show GitHub handle or username? I think that's a good set of features. All right, let's mark this as an enhancement. What's the pull request we have here? Oh, this is Bill Wagner with the updates from our live stream yesterday, making use of the various features that we had here. And he's a first-time contributor. Kind of, yeah. So yesterday, Bill Wagner had a couple of files that he changed to show us how to take advantage of some of the new features of C# here in the project. And I think these are all some pretty good ones that we could use. All right, so here he's using, this is called the Elvis operator to check if update followers is null. If it is not null, call the dispose method on it. And he does the same thing here with update viewers, showing how to use the as command as command as well. So I'm actually pretty happy with this. So let's merge that. Thanks for the contribution. It was great to learn more about these C#6 features with you during our workshop. All right. Very cool. All right. So let's see. The scrolling, and I'm not quite getting, right? I'm not quite getting the layout that I want here because it wraps if it's longer than the browser is wide, right? And it's specifically each one of these entries, you know? So why isn't it wrapping those? All right. So we were specifically for that. Here we go. I'm going to flounder in CSS world for a little bit. Let's go back to... And I'm not going to worry about the configuration stuff for right now because it's doing what I need it to do for now. For a minimum viable, it's doing what I need it to do. So let's go down into the dub root, right? No. Actually, I think it was right on that view. Yeah. For right now... Yeah, there it was. All right. So I have my contributors in an OL with LIs, and I'm telling it float left. Well, there's kind of why it's wrapping. In Bootstrap, you can use no wrap. Isn't it overflow hidden to truncate? All right, here we go. We need to get you on that Flexbox life. You're right, programming with Dan, we do. Now I don't have any CSS libraries brought in here. So I should be able to use, right, Flex CSS capabilities right here. And actually, do I really need OLs here? Yeah, I'm already using Flex. Right, because am I putting the number on the page? No, I don't want to be looking at those cognitive services nonsense that we were doing before. There it is. This one. Yeah, the number for the OL is not being output right now. Right, which is... That's weird. Well, I guess that's because I have the float left. I shouldn't need to use the LIs. Is that what you're saying? I should turn these into spans and get rid of that OL altogether. Right? This is extra markup that's just a pain in the neck. So let's get rid of this. Right? And actually, let's see. Does it do... Right? Can I do that? No. That's not it. Nope, that wasn't it. There's a hotkey that I'm trying to use here. There's a hotkey called surround with. Right? Let me see. Nope, we don't have surround with in this one. Alright. Alright, fine. So we'll just mark these as spans. Andolito, thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. No. Get rid of this. Now it's actually, isn't it the same? It is. It's the same in each one of these blocks. Which, that's, I'm repeating myself here, and that feels bad. Yeah, there's a surround with feature inside of Visual Studio that will allow you to generate a tag that you can use and just write whatever code you're looking at, whatever HTML you're looking at, you can tell it to surround with, and it'll actually surround it. And I can. Why do I have these LIs? I thought I got rid of the LIs. No. Go away. Shoe. fix that tabbing. Because I am an OCD developer. Alright. Now let's see if that makes things any better. VS is Control K, Control S. Oh no! Encountered OL with no matching start tag. Oh. I got rid of the top and I didn't get rid of the bottom. There we go. Need an extension for surround with in VS Code. I agree. Hey! There we go. Yeah, it didn't need the OLs. Like, just like, who was it? Who was saying you don't need the OLs? Programming with Dan. Kudos, Dan. You had it. You had it. Looks like we're having a little bit of latency today. Not too bad, but a little. All right, so that's exactly what, look at that. Bill Wagner is top contributor for the week in Stream Tools. So, now what is that? Party Popper. All right. So let me ask you. I'm eyeballing TwitchCon. Should I go to TwitchCon? I have a request in to the bosses asking if I can go to TwitchCon. Let me know what you think. I think I should go. But so that looks like this is doing what I need it to. Now that news ticker, this should be easy to do, right? But do I need to actually add jQuery to make this work? License, blah, 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 blah. JavaScript ticker. I bet you somebody's got an NPM package about how to do this. Huh, just put it into marquee, of course. Everybody loves the marquee. Oh, just for old time's sake. You know you want me to use a marquee. You know you want to see me do a marquee. Come on now. Yes, avoid the JavaScript altogether. Less bloat. I agree. Go all the way down to the end here, outside of my content. Ooh. And is that Commander Lyle? Is that Commander L? How do you pronounce your handle there? With Signal R, I can add channel reader to it. Oh, you're getting ahead of us there, Janescu. Now, here's what I don't like about Marquee. White space. Look at all that white space. It doesn't wrap. And I think you're right. We're going to want to signal our hub on this so that periodically I can update and push down. Here's the features. It's Welsh, a little tricky to explain. Okay, but is it Commander Elil? Commander Lyle? Help me out with that. I want to learn your avatar's name, how you pronounce it, so that I'm making sure that I address you properly. So, because I've said, before here on stream, I see us all as friends, and we're programming together, we're learning together, and that marquee is starting to annoy me. There's got to be ticker tape, horizontal news ticker on a CodePen. Everybody loves CodePen. Why cache updates? Push a new thing with Signal R. Even if I do push a new thing with Signal R, I still need to make sure that I constrain how frequently I go out to GitHub. HTML div div class ticker. This is a test ticker. Blah, 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 blah. Where is it? I don't want to fork it. I want to run it. How do I tell it to run? Shouldn't it just be running? Oh, there it goes. No. Am I right? It should just run, right? Isn't that what CodePen does? Is it? Oh, there it is. It's over there. Ugh. All right, here we go. Loading. This is a test ticker 1. Yeah. Close-ish. The LL is said by saying L, but blowing a little bit like sh. The E is like in end, and the Y is like I in into. All right, so let me make sure I got this right. So it's Commander. Commander Elshish. Am I getting that right? Commander Elfilt? No. Let me know. It's definitely Commander. Can I just go Commander? How about we start there? Nuts. All right. I don't like how this, right, it completely disappears on us again. So that one's not quite what I'm looking for. RSS Ajax JavaScript ticker. So you want a JavaScript ticker tape, huh? Yeah, I do. Huh. Yeah, let's just go with Commander. All right. I'll work with that. My apologies. All right. No, show me what it looks like. Hang on. Did that say Netscape? Okay, that's a problem. No. We're not going to do that. Go away. RSS Ajax JavaScript ticker. No. That's not good either. JavaScript stock ticker from 2012. Let's see. Oh, look at this. Programming with Dan has one. Let's see what Dan has here. All right, so you are at codepen.io. Anon. Pen. VJV. VWQ. Pure CSS Marquee. Oh, do tell. All right. And it's just going back and forth. All right. Using keyframes. So here's what I'm thinking. Not your work. All right. That's not too bad. That's a move in the right direction. CSS, JavaScript ticker. Let's look up this ticker tape. Let's see how that does. That's not too far off from what I want. Text box marquee. It's in a text box. I don't want that. Sushinator has one here. Another CodePen. CodePen.io. Lewis. McCary. Pen. GJ. Z, V-O-G. Wrong V. Wrong O. That should be this one. Let's see what this one is. Ooh. All right. We're looking good to start here. Gluten-free mumblecore. I love gluten-free mumblecore. Gluten-free mumblecore is delicious. Now, all right, there we go. Space. Most JS solutions don't do horizontal tickers on an infinite loop, nor do they render all that smoothly. This is nice and smooth. I like this. Hey, Average Joe, good to see you. Difficulty with CSS is getting the animation to transform the entire items 100% yet include an offset. Setting the start of the animation to anything less than 0 is unreliable, blah, blah, blah. Padding left on the wrapper allows us to correct initial offset. So here's what I'm thinking. This looks... I like this animation. This looks like exactly the type of animation that I want. So Average Joe, what I'm doing, I've got my GitHub list here. It fits nicely right inside of Firefox, and it wraps nicely. And I'm using a marquee tag here, and of course we all can't stand the marquee tag because it's got this very jittery approach. It's zero code. It's just an HTML. But I think Sushinator here has a winner here. I love how nice and smooth that is. I feel like we're going to be able to alter that speed a little here. This is SCSS that was written. Right. Yeah, I'm looking at... Right, I want to see the post transform. There we go. It's not bad. WebKit animation duration 30 seconds. Well, that's what's explaining how long it takes to run this. Right? That's explaining, right, the speed of it going across. So that's not bad. I can work with that. Okay. Let's take a look at the HTML here. So there's a ticker wrapper and then ticker. So is ticker wrap just positioning it? Let's look at where ticker wrap is here inside the CSS. There it is, ticker wrap. Okay, so this is just doing the positioning with the overflow hidden. I think we could use something similar with ours. All right, I'm going to leave this here. Let's do this. Let's go back over to our code. I'm going to get rid of the marquee because I kind of agree with everybody. We can't stand marquee. All right. Let's do this. Contributors information is... We also had this great idea. I think it was Janescu had the idea last week. Just have cards that we can have iterate through here as well. No. The SignalR stock ticker sample. Hang on. I got to look at that one now. You guys are giving me some good URLs here to look at. GitHub, ASP.NET, SignalR samples. That's... There we go. Got to make sure I remember the M. Let me tell you how good it feels having an end key again. Tree, master, stock, yeah, tick, or stock tick, or app. root. Let's see. There's our CSS for this. Overflow hidden. Really big width. Okay, so inside of it are LIs with a display of inline block. Let's go back and look at what this HTML looks like if it's close to what I'm doing. Live stock ticker, there it is. ID equals stock ticker. Class equals inner, UL position absolute. Yeah, and then there's some buttons and things that get triggered here inside the JavaScript to load that data and format and pass that along. That's pretty good. But does it do the repeat? Does it duplicate? Right? Let's look at that lib for a second. Right, because when it downloads the stocks, you effectively need two of them so you can have the end of one while the beginning of the next one is coming on. Get all stocks, then display stock for each one of those. Okay. Move ticker, and it's just doing a position move. And that's all it's doing? Shouldn't it move it to the end and restart? No, there's the table and then there's the ticker that's moving horizontally. Check it out. Margin left. So it's slowly moving across the screen. More likely less smooth. Maybe. Right in that move ticker, where'd it go? This has got to be called by, yeah, there it is. So every 20 milliseconds it moves it moves 1 pixel. All right. I'm gonna go with the code pen. I like the CSS, and I think we can do something with this. Yeah. All right. But first things first, and I do agree, we do need to get SignalR in to do that. Can I try to refresh the tab for the code pen you sent me? I don't have that other code pen open anymore. This one? Oh, look at this. All right. And now I've got white space, right? So excuse me. Right, so once it scrolls off the end, I need to grab a new one and grab a copy of this, put it at the end, and bring it in. So it's pretty good, right? Right, and I can up that animation delay, right? Let's make it like 4 seconds. Shouldn't it just keep, right? Shouldn't it? As soon as I change it, shouldn't it run? What's that do? Autocomplete wrap with rerun preview. Okay, is Command Shift 5. No. Wrong style? Not that one? Where is it? Marquee 10 seconds. This one. Oh, there we go. Much slower. Not bad. Hey, Amranio? Welcome. Good to see you. Yeah, I want to clone it and add a second one behind it. And this is effectively doing the exact same thing, to be honest. It really is. Disregard the Marquee 2 styling. All right. I can do that. So let's I'm going to grab this CSS because it seems simpler and more straightforward to getting into this. Can you overlap two marquees? No. How do I find Hoka? Is that Hokus TV? Asks, how do I find working with C# on the Mac? It's not bad. Not bad at all. Let's refresh here. Oops. No, I want to leave page. Show me the update. Not bad, not bad. Yeah, and then I want to do something to clone and have two of these. So, Maglore Elf, welcome. Thank you for the follow, and it's good to see you, Steve. Always a pleasure. Let's grab this CSS. Well, hang on. I'm going to organize things a little bit here first. This is contributors information, CSHTML. I want to open my GitHub controller. And what I want to do at the end of contributors information, let's add to our GitHub configuration. Where was it? GitHub configuration. Let's have a display mode here. But for right now, let's default it to scroll, right? Let's call it HScroll, because we may do a vertical scroll later. I'm going to grab that, and over here I will say if GitHub configuration display mode equals nuts. Nope. HScroll. So I enjoy working with C# on a Mac. It's nice inside of Visual Studio Code. I get all the same IntelliSense features that I'm used to, and I can be very productive quickly, right? I still get all the command line tools that I'm used to running over here, right? And I can see I've even got my .NET running right there on the command line. I've just got it hiding behind the scenes. In fact, I should be able to just split this. And nuts. Let's do it like that. All right. I will refresh in just a little bit. Give me a second here. Let's put an enum in here. Now let's call it display modes. And I'm going to add HScroll table. It doesn't like that. Rats. And then I'll want to change this to HScroll as well. All right. So over here, you know what? This isn't going to do what I want it to do here. Let's get rid of that. Let's go back to HScroll like that, and let's pass that. Let's pass that as part of the name of the view that we're going to render, right? So I can specify a specific view name here. Thank you for the follow, Casual Gul'dan. Oh, there's somebody who likes Blizzard games. Thank you, Casual Gul'dan, for following. Sounds like you've got a thing. What do you use the fel to help you code? That'd be kind of cool. Let me know. Let's call this contributors dash, and then we'll specify from our GitHub configuration display mode. So it'll be, I'll rename my view. Check this out, right? So right now I just have contributors information. Oh yeah, so I can have different views based on how I want it to output. And right now I'm forcing it to that one model. So let's create another file in here. And I will call this, what was it? Contributors -h scroll CSHTML. All right. And that actually feels a little weird. Let's call it contributor underscore. Yeah. I like that better. Go back to views. Let's rename this. What's that down there below? There's got to be renamed. There it is. Underscore. And there was no S. All right. So I will load. All right. I'm going to take what we originally had over here and start working on it here. And I'm going to start actually purging a lot of this information. Wouldn't a partial view be easier? That's an interesting question. I would do partial views to include. I'm going to have different CSS and different JavaScript for the two different orientations that I'm going to have for this. So I think I'd rather not do a partial view, and I think I'd rather have, because I'll have separate CSS for each of these, I can stay focused on just the CSS for horizontal scrolling if I use this approach. So that's why I'm making that design decision. Good question, Smab. You got me thinking about it. And but I do think these for eaches here should be inside of a partial view. Corbob, thank you for the follow. I appreciate you joining us. I look forward to seeing you in our chat room. Over 2,100 followers now. Wow. Wow. Thank you, everybody, for the follows. And a big thank you to Enzima out there for being our chat leader, Bargaw and Summer600 for, not our chat, our cheerleaders for this, what is it, this month. That's it. I get an idea for contributor scorecard, leaderboard item, leaderboard card. Exactly. There you go. Control Z. Do I need to Control Z? Oh, thank you. But I think this stuff we should wrap up into a partial view because we're going to be doing this a couple different times. Now, the model that we have here in the code pen, and I'll do a refresh here. Oh no, I tabbed. Let's refresh that. Not bad. Okay. Not bad. Would the view component be better than a partial view? Ooh. Now that's a good question. Because this is just a little bit of formatting razor, and I don't have any logic going with it, I think I'll stick with a partial view. That's a really good question. So let's wrap this up as a partial view. Now, model top week contributors. Let's go back to my controller. The object that we're returning here, this model object, is a GitHub information. Let's take a look at that. GitHub information. Now that's just a list of GitHub contributors. So I'll pass a list of GitHub contributors into this partial view, right? And a partial view is just a piece of a view here. So what I will do is, and we'll also want to pass the title in as well. So let's add a new file here. Contributor. Oh, and it's a partial, so I want to start it with an underscore. And let's call it contributor ticker segment. Yeah, that sounds good. All right, now for this part, if I'm going to emulate what, if I'm going to emulate over here, you just have it in a span inside of this marquee, and it's just text. So I don't think I even need spans around that. Program with Dan asks, can we have that discussion? Sure, let's talk about it. I'd assume use a view component when you need to modify state or behavior. Whereas to me, a view, a partial, is just a dumb CSHTML file that renders data, no functionality. Yes. And when I think of a dumb CSHTML file, I think a for loop, and really any kind of a loop is what I think is acceptable to put into a view. An if or a switch statement that gets into any complex logic beyond just the simple, if this is true, then do this, I think is a candidate for moving somewhere else. Soltech, thank you for the follow. I appreciate you joining us today. I'm noticing none of these folks that are following us, they aren't joining us in the chat room. Gosh, chime in, join us. I want to encourage you to chat with us, talk about what's going on, what you're interested in. But I agree, program with Dan. Let's minimize the amount of logic that we really need to think about in there. So the span items, really, we're just doing this for each over them, and it's the same for each time. And it's that list of, right, GitHub contributors. So I'm actually going to make this the model inside of here, right? So I'll specify at model like that. They are afraid of the hat. No, don't do that. And look at this. Visual Studio Code. Visual Studio Code doesn't have a great Razor editor yet. They're working on it. It's coming, but it's not quite there yet. It behaves like HTML. Yeah, it needs some improvements. So I'm going to grab this and just do a copy of that initial for each statement, and we'll clean it up in here. So I'm just going to say for each, and it can just go across the model. And I actually don't need the span on these now. If I'm going to use the model, the template that, who was it who was working on that? Programming with Dan was working on. So we'll just do this. All right. So now over here, what I should be able to do, instead of doing this for each, I should be able to say at HTML, render partial, all right, And then it's the name of the partial, which is contributor ticker segment. And then the model is actually model top week contributors. And that should take care of that segment. Right? Let's go back over to Firefox and let's see how our code looks now. Let's see here. Please review. Can I convert void to object? Frank is in. Thank you for the follow. I think I don't want HTML render partial. I think I just want partial. Let's take this. Try that again. All right. Please review. All right. Model item.author. Expression tree may not contain a dynamic operation. Oh. Oh, oops. All right, let's go back over there. Those display fours it doesn't like. So, why don't we just output item.author, right? I mean, honestly. I need to convert this back to text, so I think I need to surround this with text. Ah, there we go. Right. That should do it. Let's see, Commander says, I run VS Code on Linux, seems to run very nicely. Haven't done much MVC on it yet, but I find it does F# programs and scripts wonderfully. Oh, glad to hear it. That's great. Well, that's not right. That's not right either. Let's see. So generic list, contributor list. All right, let's go back over there. So at item. Yeah. Right? System collections. Okay, hang on. There should be a list of GitHub contributor. So it's calling it with model.topweekcontributors. Right? So that's our list that it's passing in. Right? Hello from the partial. Let's just make sure that it's doing that properly, right? There it is. It's way over here, which feels weird. And look, it's... That tells me something. I have the wrong capitalization for model here. There it is. Now I have it correct. That's better. Alright, let's get rid of this. I always get those at model references incorrect. No spam. No, we dropped the spam. We're gonna fix that up in just a second here. I think if I use this same bit here, we can get rid of that and this. That's fine. And if I use this same syntax here, It's this part of this song that I feel like I need to break into like smooth jazz radio DJ mode. You know, thank you very much, ladies, for joining us this evening. You're listening to Smooth Jazz FRZ. It's like, The span was spam. There you go. Look at that, spooky coder. Now, if I save, wait a. Yeah, all right, that should work, right? If we refresh this now, no. No could not be found. This bit right here. We need to force that to text. There it goes. Now, everything's kind of jammed up against each other here. There's no spaces. We need to put a little bit of space in between these things when there's more than one. Will that actually do it? That's better. All right. We're getting there. We're getting there. And we probably want a little bit of space in the front. After each one of these. All right. Now, let's go back over to the marquee that Dan was suggesting. So he's got it as a paragraph with this marquee class here. I'm going to steal all of your CSS directly. And let's just clobber this. All right. See, formatting didn't. It chokes here because this is Razor. All right. Okay. So instead of this being a div here, we're going to change this to a paragraph. And you've made it the class marquee. Well, it's the only one on the page. That's fine. We'll make it a class. All right. Let's make sure that's like that. And then it's just a span inside of it is what you have. All right, cut that. Feel free to modify it however. Style design by our friend at Program with Dan. All right. Let's see here. Is that it? Is that all I needed to do? Really? All right. So Razor's confusing the @ for the keyframes. So I actually have to put just a second @ to escape it. There we go. And that should do it. Or not? What? All right, hang on. Marquee span, and then the keyframes marquee, and there's no JavaScript. So what are we missing here? Let's get rid of the H's. And go back to mine. All right. Yeah! All right. Well done, Program with Dan. Well done. Now, I think we want to, make the various captions. I think we want to offset those somehow. Let's see what's going on over here. Oh, do I have the follower chat? I'm sorry, Core Bob. Let me open that back up. Hang on. I am so sorry, Core Bob. And to other folks hanging out there. We had a problem with trolls yesterday. So I had to turn on the... you're right, Brave Cobra. It is kind of fast. Let me... There we go. Let me turn this down to any followers can chat. Sorry about that. I am so sorry. Oh, there we go. Give it a try, Core Bob. But why use HTML partial instead of the partial tag? Oh, I forgot about the partial tag. That's why. And it shouldn't be followers only chat anymore. Looks like it's turned off. Looks like. Yeah, alright, let me change this. Right, I forget how to use the partial tag. Yeah, I think we're... Hey, there we go. Alright. Love the hat. Thank you, DevOps Guru. It does seem kind of fast. Where was that? Was it this one? Now, is that animation... Right, if we make this smaller, does it go faster? No. All right. Not a cap today. That's right. You know what? It's still. All right, hang on. Marquee, hidden, absolute. Yeah, it should. Right, if I make this page smaller, look at how long I have to wait for it to appear on it. There it goes. Yeah, it's that animation setting, and I want to make sure. Right, I mean, let's make it a little bit slower. Let's make it slower by half. I'm sad I missed yesterday's event. Hopefully I'll be able to go back and watch the VOD. Yes, the VOD is available. And I have to do some rendering before I put the whole thing up on YouTube. I did delete Scott Hanselman's segment. We have to do some work on that one. Refresh the page. So I've resized it, and if I refresh the page, right, it's still giving me the full size. Yeah, I had to drop. I had to cut that because he made a crucial mistake there, Summer. He he showed his phone number on stream. So catch you later, Cryptrix. So I've edited that part, and I'm actually going to turn the entire video from yesterday into a 9-part a 9-part video playlist on YouTube. So it's a little bit easier to go through, and you only have 1 hour of videos to watch. So that's looking pretty good. I'm pretty happy with how that looks now. I could even slow that down just a little bit further. I want to go, let's try 40. Let's see what that looks like. Contributor ticker with all CSS, CHTML, JS, and CS stuff would be very cool stuff. I know. I like it. Oh, good. I'm glad you agree, Janesco. Yeah. I was wrong about linear gradient brush. .NET System Drawing made it to .NET Standard 2, but only through the compatibility pack. Yes. No Linux or Mac support there. Right. There is a little bit of these things that are very Windows specific are going to stay Windows specific. I think that's a good pace for the scroll, but I definitely see that as something we could configure in the future. But I'm actually pretty happy about that. Now I want to like bold these, right, or underline them. You know, right? Let's use the underline to wrap the captions, and then we can put style on them later if we want to add to it. There we go. Right, so refresh that. No problem, Summer. The 8-hour version I just watched was giving me a Call of Duty ad every 10 minutes. On YouTube, I just, because I crushed, you viewers crushed it, because I crossed the 1,000 subscriber threshold. I should be able to sign up and start getting ads for that. Better wait for it to pop up on YouTube otherwise. Scrolling forward is also very slow in Twitch and perfect on YouTube. Yeah. If you do, so Summer, there you go. Program with Dan is pointing that out. You can enable a Twitch Prime membership if you have Amazon Prime. And actually, if you're watching here on Twitch, if you mouse over the video, a little pop-up should appear, a little crown that you can click, and it'll tell you exactly how to do that. You can get your crown, just like a Program with Dan has there in the chat room, to indicate that he's a Twitch Prime member, and that'll remove all the ads for you. And then you get to subscribe to one channel as well. And if you subscribe here, we'll give you the C# bot emote there in the chat room. Right, C# bot. There we go. Oh, thank you for the bits, Summer. That's a good idea, DevOps Guru, to put that in the Q&A for the Fritz bot. Hey, there we go. There's some bots. So thank you for the bits, Summer. I will, of course, match that and send it over to Girl Develop It so that we help those folks grow and become better developers as well. So I hope that doesn't offend folks that I make this into a little bit of a charitable donation. You know, I never ask for you folks to contribute or to pay me, you know, with a subscription. You know, I'm happy to encourage that charitable organization to do something with that. I noticed that your window can scroll horizontally. Not sure if you want to remove this. Can you try adding width 99% to the dot marquee class? Let's give it a shot here. Let's see. Up here. Wait a sec. Let's do it right in the developer tools. Right, I can do that. That's a thing. Let me click on the inspector. This doodad here, rules. All right, width 99%. No, it's still giving me. Oh, well, there we go. Look, the scroller is at least a little bit better, right? What happens if I set that to 98? Oh no! As soon as I resized, right, it went away. Nah. Yep, 98 took it. But you know what it is? You know what it is? It's the body margin. Right, there's a margin there. And that's why it's scrolling. Right? Up. If I make it width 100%, it works. And if we get rid of these two, yeah, it just overflows a little bit. Yeah. Yeah, Dan, I think you're right. So I'm going to put that, let's put that in here. Width 100%. And we'll add a body style. And we'll say margin. So it goes top. Let's make the top 5 pixels and then left and right 0 pixels. Right? It goes top, right, bottom, left. And I know that my finger doing that was the wrong way here on screen, but it was the right way for me, so I'm happy with that. Now let's refresh, and the scroll bar goes away. Fantastic. That's better. We like better. All right. So now, I mean, the only other thing that I would do is give a way to set the font inside of the span and the U. Right? And I'm tempted to remove the background color here also, because I'm going to want the background to be transparent in OBS, right? Where'd it go? Well, now I've done it. The font color is set to white. That's why I can't see it. Aha! Where? Oh, right there. This one. So let's make it that. That's better. Exactly, Dan. Exactly. I'm going to inject that configuration information with the other styles. Love it. So right now I'm passing in just GitHub information. I'm going to need to pass in my configuration. I've been working with React a lot lately at work. Passing in styles as properties is really common. Yeah. But this looks really good at this point. And I think it's a good stopping place for me today. I've got some things I need to get to. Believe it or not, after 12 and a half hours of streaming over 2 days, I got other stuff I gotta do. Would it be such a bad idea to make the marquee a web component so you can use this in multiple places with different content? Ooh. I like that idea, Brave Cobra. But this is a component that I'm creating. To wrap this up, I think is pretty cool idea like that. Let me get rid of this extra space here. I like that. Let's do this. Let's take that as a suggestion over here in GitHub. All right. I want to record that because I think that's a pretty neat idea. All right. Convert the GitHub contributors scroller to a web component. Suggested by who was calling that? Brave Cobra. I want to make sure that I give you credit for the idea here. And let me know what your GitHub handle is here, and I'll reference you in here. Using ticker component. Exactly. Tinge, new to the channel, starting my job at Starbucks as an app dev on Monday. Glad you found me on Reddit. Hey, good luck to you over there, Tinge, at Starbucks. Love the coffee from Starbucks. You know, everybody does. Gosh, on GitHub, it's just Brave Cobra. All right, I will be sure to reference you there. Why give me an underline? All right. Best of luck to you in your new job, Tinge. Let us know how you do, and if you have any questions, if there's anything that we can help you out with, you know we're here Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday mornings. Or if you're working at Starbucks, you're probably in the Northwest. So before you go to work, tune in and let us know. So I'm going to mark this as an enhancement, and I'm also going to mark this as help wanted. So if anybody wants to work on this, feel free to put together a pull request and submit it. I think this is a neat idea. And let us know, you know, if you want to take this and work on it. There was a session about Starbucks at Build, and Starbucks actually had a pretty nice size cart and display on the floor of the expo at Build. We were really happy to have them join us as part of Build. Let me commit my changes here so that everybody can see what we're working on. I am going to open back up my panel here. I'm going to jump over to this one because this is where I was working. And I believe, yep, I've got a couple new files here, a couple modifications. I'm just going to add everything and say, let's commit this. So, converted GitHub contributors to a horizontal scroll. All right, and let's add that into the project. 7 to 8 developers. That's a good sized team. That's kind of what you expect in a team of developers working together. But big is relative, right? Different folks have different size teams, and that you know, organizations that they consider big, right? I worked for .com 10 years ago now, and we had 20 developers, and I considered that small. You know, we were 3 teams, that worked on 3 different projects. I considered that small, and each team was 5-6 developers, and that's, like I said, 5 to 10 feels like a good size of a development team. When I was at Telerik, before I worked at Microsoft, our development team for our product was 50, and I felt that was maybe medium sized. And that was actually broken down into 3 different work groups that were named Team 1, Team 2, and Team 3. And my Bulgarian friends that worked over there in Sofia, Bulgaria, it was kind of funny calling them Team 1 and Team 2 and Team 3. But hey, whatever. That was their team names. And yeah, there were, about 10 to 20 on each one of those teams. And okay, that worked out. But 7 to 8, I think, is really an ideal size. And the team that I work on now, there's only 4 of us in my work group. My 2 development teams that I work with each have, the one has 4 people, the other one now has about 10 people. So that's a good size as well. The ASP.NET team, I forget how many people are on that. How many engineers. But they're in that same range, about 10. So you're right in the right size. So we've committed, we've pushed up our changes. Let me just check off in our not scoreboard configuration. Not that one. In the scoreboard task that we were working on here, scrolling like a ticker, there we go. And I do now have, not optional yet, leaderboard cards. I know a couple folks were saying they see the ways now that you can specify different views to get that format. And at some point, I'd love to do adaptive cards. That's a feature that the Windows folks are building. So, all right. Thank you so much. Can't wait to watch more. See you again soon. Hey, thank you, Tinge. I really appreciate that. I will, I'll be back on Tuesday. Like I said, I'm going to touch base with the folks who work on Q&A Maker. That's the cognitive service in Azure that the bot is using to answer questions and do some other processing in the chat room. But I will see you Tuesday. Of course, I will archive off today's video, and that'll be available for you later. Thanks so much, everybody, for joining us. All the source code is out there in GitHub. We'll see you next time.